Aldrin, good morning, and just give us a quick idea, some background to the story, which many of us might have actually forgotten, the battles of the Northwest and its leadership. Just when last were they in court, and what do we know of how far we are in this case?
Well, the last court attempt was in November. Remember, there were two cases that were heard in front of this court, and both of those cases were dismissed on the basis of lack of urgency. But the court then put the matter on the court roll and said that it will be heard on a normal, ordinary court roll, and that's due to be heard today. It was due to be heard on Monday, but it was now set for Wednesday, which will be taking place around about 10 o'clock. Supra, Mahumapelo, the former ANC chairperson in the Northwest, is fighting to be reinstated, or to have the PEC, the entire PEC, reinstated. He also has co-applicants in this matter, which include some members of the PEC, the former PEC, the disbanded PEC, that are arguing that the decision that was taken by the NEC to disband the PEC was irrational. And remember that the argument that the ANC has made is that if you look at the state of the Northwest and how things were run in the Northwest, it was based on that decision, first of all, that there was a call for Supra to step down as the Premier of the Northwest, but then subsequently as well to disband the entire PEC, and a PTT has been set up, and Supra as well as these other PEC members are challenging that decision of the PTT. And quite interestingly, Yuveka, is that although their arguments before have solely been based on what happened ahead of the appointment of the PTT as well as the disbandment of the PEC, they say they'll be bringing new evidence to the court, and this would relate to the list conference. Remember that the Northwest was the last province to actually go to a list conference, which coincided with the national list conference happening on the same day. So they say they'll be bringing more evidence of irregularities and argue in front of the court why they initially wanted this matter to be heard on an urgent basis and the appointment of the PTT be set aside.
While all of this is happening and they head to court, what is the actual state of the Northwest province after all of its troubles?
Well, we know that you still have the PTT that's in charge, and the argument now is that the PTT should go because they have the provincial conference that is due next month in February. However, there is an expectation that the National Executive Committee may take a decision, considering that we're heading into the elections, may take a decision that all conferences that are due ahead of the elections, which are due in May, should be postponed to after the elections in May. And this is very important, Yuveka, because if you have the elections taking place in May and you still have the PTT in charge, this means issues around deployment may become a contested battlefield, because who becomes a premier is a very important decision that have to be taken by the NEC, of course, but the NEC is expecting 3 names. This is now if the ANC wins the Northwest again, the NEC would be expecting 3 names to be coming from the province, and who would be in charge of bringing forth that 3 names? That will be the PTT, and that's why you have Supra and these other PEC members here in court to argue that the PTT cannot be in charge of such processes. And on the other hand, you still have the province under administration under the leadership of Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma.
All right, thanks very much for that update, Aldrin Simply. He'll keep an eye on that story.